Brook Nation, Riyadh Daweed here tonight with my son at Yawaso Doc. We're going to be teaching um, many things. We're going to make sure that we can have an independent system and upgrade what we need so that we can, when we broadcast, everything is quite visible and all of that. I don't know, this page is not looking. Let me see if I have to. Okay, that's it. Because I certainly want you to understand. Reacti Weeds live here on this chat. I need to close that.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And then you can open it back up.
Where is that? You'll just bear with me.
It's at the bottom where the yellow, same side where you just clicked off. Other side, your right hand side.
The right hand side, right
All the
here.
way to the right, all the way to the far right. Far right. Right there.
Chat.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. We invite you in, you that have received the newsletter on today. Akmako sent that out. And we're going to refine things in a way whereby we can broadcast or teach. There's so many things we need to learn, especially concerning the feast days and the solstice and the equinox and all those things that we have been taught, which are full of deception. I say quite frequently that men will not even discuss or show you how to determine the days for the Mo'adim, the feast days, the celebrations of Yah, because many of them do not know and they are afraid of that. It is one thing that many have found out of the many years, they are afraid to try to tell you the times and the dates because they really do not know. I'm going to teach you that and show you what Yah has granted me to understand and to know. That's vitally important because the generations must understand these kinds of things. For those that are young, and we must understand those kinds of things. I see the chat overlay. Is there anyone in here? This is from yesterday.
Marcellus, he's in.
Who else? But all these are from yesterday, last night. You see anyone else? Okay. I see Marcellus, Baruch, my friend. We welcome you, and you that have joined us. We want these broadcasts to go far beyond just a few of us, and that this truth may be scattered or spread throughout. Where did I had, let me find this. Let me open up another. Where was that site? Chabad. I would open that up again. Chabad. Where is it? Okay. That's that. Okay. Where did I have it? What page? I had it on a single site. Chabad. The Metonic. I got so much stuff here. Chabad. I know I didn't close it. Just bear with me, you all. I'm trying to find the site that I had open last night, Chabad. I can open another page. Chabad.org. Let's go there. Can you still see me on that? Is everything shut down?
It's you still coming through, but it's a lag, so I can't see your face.
What is that?
I can't see your face.
You'll just bear with me, Chabad. I want to go to this site. I thought I had it all up. You all just bear with me until I find so much on this site here. Let me see. This is not what I want. Chabad headquarters. Where is it? I'll have to just log this in. All right. Oh, I had it right there. All right. Let's get this done. All right. We got that. We got that. Okay. Where? Well, I stopped last night. Okay, I can make that work. How about? You'll bear with me for one moment. This is a process, a student of this. And so there are things that I am trying to rectify and to make sure that we can carry them out. They're going to teach me how to do all these things that I need to do. I wanted to remind us from last night. This is such a large website because it has everything that is Jewish, everything. And let me find this. Yeah.
It's www.time-and-dates.
No. I had that one up. Chabad and time and dates. The leap year sensual inspiration, the Jewish calendar. What I wanted to deal with was the 19th year. I'm trying to find that article again. I used to stay on this site all the time. Do we have anyone on board with us tonight? Because I want to teach some things I think that is vitally important to our growth. Leap year Chabad, leap year Jewish, the basics. These are questions that were asked by individuals. Okay. But let me get moving here. I want to show us some things that over the many years that I have studied to make sure that what I teach is in line with Torah. I don't read commentaries of other men. I just don't do that. I find that men tend to formulate opinions. We must deal with truth and nothing but truth, nothing else. And that's what I want to deal with. Someone give me recognize that you're in here with me. Why are all these? This was from last night, right? How do I delete that? How do I delete
the chat overlay right there? You know, that slide button.
Okay. I know. I want to keep that like that, but I just want everything deleted that I don't need on here tonight. Is anyone on live with me? Anyone? All right, we're going to press on. I want to show us some things tonight concerning the times and the season. And I have a program, not a program, but I have years of study let me just see how many pages I have here. This is one thing. This is called, if you can see that, I have put this together, and it has taken me probably the last 10 years, just this one teaching. I got table of contents. At that time when I wrote this, 570 pages in this file. Hebrew calendar. I got everything there is concerning Hebrew time of the Moedim and everything that is based upon the principles of Yah's Torah. This is where it's at right here. You see that table of contents? Let me just examine this. I want to see how many. Let me look at this. I want to see how many pages that I have here. You see that? And I'm just going to slide this down. You know how this goes. You can see how many pages. That's 195 pages there. You see that? 195 pages. I'm going to slide it all the way down to the bottom, see what I have. So on this one alone, there is what? There's 514 pages. In this one book, this just one. 521. And all of this pertains to nothing but the Moedim, Equinach, and all that. Techufah. And I can say that's 527 pages. I can say that I've spent amp time in what I do. Not something that I just make up, but I research every component I can. Examine the history of those that research certain topics and things. Many people don't do that. And this is the combination of over what? Probably minimum 10 years plus. 10 years plus. And these are just some of the files I have saved. And what I say, my teachings and all of that, I have a tremendous amount of teachings here. Let me see how many. Because I am always consistently let me just see how many on this one. These are where my teachings are. Just usually that 1,759 pages. All the teachings, just from everything there is. Everything there is. And this is how I make preparation and how I study to make sure that things are done righteously. Let us get to this. The Metonic cycle. Again, I do apologize, my friends. I'm somewhat discombobulated, but this is what we were on last night, the 13 years or the years of the, I read us all the way. Let me see. How do I get this over there, son?
Just go to share.
Okay.
At the bottom.
I want to share. Where is this?
Right, the white button right there. Click on that.
All right. I want to share this.
Click on the share button again. Okay, window.
Here we go. We're going to get it right, nation.
And then share. And then hit the slide.
All right. This is what I had up yesterday evening. And there was one thing I wanted to remind us of, because it talks about the fixed years were the 8th commandments of the Jewish ways. we can see that it states here a year can be 385, 384, and 383 days. This is how discombobulated we are. Can you view this? Can we view this tonight? Someone let me know if you can view this. Okay, yeah.
You got to condense your main page.
All right, just give me a moment. I didn't have it that condensed last night. Give me 1 second. We're going to get this perfect.
There we go.
And you can see right here, nation, where it talks about a year can be the longest year, what it says here, the longest year. Listen now, the longest year can be 383, 384, or 385 days. That's what the longest year can be. These are the number of days that are in one of their years. But I want to look at this when I said I would discuss this. I would discuss this. Uh, 1 second, y'all. Zakinya Rabia, I'm doing a live broadcast. All right. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. I tell you, this is a mess tonight, son. I can't get nothing right.
Your font size. You need to condense your font size. That's why your page is not condensed.
I can't condense this. Let me go back to this. I want to go back to this. I want to go back. Just bear with me, you all. Share. Window. I don't want that. I want this. Share. All right. This is what I want to look at tonight. I just want to show us. I want to look at this concerning the 19th year or the 19 years of this cycle. What I have so much here because I'm looking right now at the feast days, how they will. This is what we're going to have with the vernal equinox. This is a table here. This is a lesson here. This is a table. We're talking about the equinox. And the year, I have the date from 2017 to 2040. It's not difficult to do that with this system and what has been laid out with those that are identifying as Jews. And we're going to talk about the 19-year celebration. What is this all about? How did this come into play in the determination of the Moedim of Yah? There is nowhere in Torah where it teaches us that. There is nowhere where the Torah, when they kept Pesach, they had come out of Mizraim. It was just that season. They saw the time of the budding and all of that in the fields. The wheat, it's not wheat, but the barley. And you can search scriptures. I want to share a little with that you tonight. The first month of Yah always has been the first month. Would you concur with that? The same first month that Moshe shared in his time was the same first month that at home and the patriarchs of this book. Same first month. Noach, the months are destroyed. The first, the seventh month. So how is it that changed during the period of time? How is it that it changed? What did the first month look like for Noach? And there were days that were the feast days that Noach he kept. He came out of the ark, and there were specific times that he came that things began to unfold. If you look at this, I know every feast days, and this is what the Jews go by, and this is what you go by. It is called the Metonic or the Metonic cycle. It was a scientist, one that was an observer of the sky. His name was called Meton. And you can pronounce it Melton or Meton or Metonic, the system that he developed. And this was with those in the Jewish conclaves that they wanted to make sure that they kept the season in that time of the year. And so they come up with just a torrent of lies. And we buy that. Our leaders will not examine anything. We want things that we are comfortable with and things that we don't want to be challenged. And these are concepts that are based upon total frivolity. That's what it is. You see this right here. Mathematics of the Jewish calendar, a 19-year cycle. When I began the research on this, probably many, many years ago, I'm getting old, so my memory in those things, I just don't recall. But when I began that, or the research on the Jewish calendar, we're talking about the 19 years. There were 113,000. Search that, my son. Tell me how many, just the Jewish calendar, 90, just check, just research 19-year cycle and see how many, what is the search results on that? It was not that much of information. When I began to teach, you must understand, nation, that there were not that many websites in my days. And I know for a fact, you could research Hebrew Israelites back in those days, and the ones of my hue. And there were only 14,000, 16,000 pages. That's not hard to read. And the last time I searched, I think it was like 500 million. In those days, there was not much on the World Wide Web. It wasn't. And so you had to do things in a way whereby you could understand. You had to be very selective. I tend to read the background of those that compile the information, their concept, their theological outlook. I do that to see if there is something in that teaching that is compatible with what I'm teaching. Not looking to see who's right or wrong, but that's how you do research. And you can see here, you can see right here, it talks about the Metonic cycle is a particular approximation, a relationship between the solar year and the lunar month. The Calipits cycle is an even better one, and that is the one that the Jews has transferred from. They have. It is called the Calipics. And they use that system now more so than the Metonic. They do. It talks about this Calipic cycle, approximately common multiply of the years, specifically the tropical years and the Sanaa months, and propose the Calalips during the 330 BC common era, a period of 76 years, as improvement of the 19-year Metonic cycle. Yours day times, they have not changed. His Shabbat has not changed. His time and the timing of his time, it has not changed. And so this is what you and everyone utilize this concept. You don't even know what it's about. Those that lead you, they don't tell you, they don't teach you those things. They don't inform you of anything at all. And that's just the truth. And they are afraid to discuss these things. Why not? I am wrong about everything, but he is righteously right. And you cannot get this understanding by simply reading. It doesn't come that way. There must be lachai, there must be an intense study to understand this. So this is what this kalapich cycle, it corresponds to this. Look what it says here now. It responds to this. 940 synodic lunar months. Now, why is it that they maintain that lunar perception and that aspect? It tells us how many draconic months it is referred to a mathematical. You tell me the Torah and what y'all speaks is this difficult for us to understand his time and his season, and they break it down to the second, the minute, the hour. And so it is not even confusing. He made it to be simple for us. He gave us a month. He gave us month 1 through month 12. There is no 13th month. He did not appoint us to make adjustments in anything. And the years go just like I pointed out according. You're going to have a year. Look at this. This is from, let's look at this. This is from Chabad here. The dates and times of the feast days. Now, this is 2023, isn't it? Next year, you're going to spend from 2023 to 2024, Pesach. It will be precisely 383 days. From this year's Pesach to next year, is that a year? From April 22nd, 24 to April 12th, 25, it's only 355 days. Show me, is that a year? 25 to 26, 354. And then from 26 to 27, it's 385. And then those 2 years, sometimes 3, it'll go to 384. And our leaders do not open up these things. Same thing. All of these websites I've gone to and I've researched thousands of pages and tremendous amount of time. And we buy the lies because we're just that ignorant. You got them out today telling you polygyny and all is righteous. It's a lie. We cannot understand any concept of Yah until we go to what the Torah identifies as the Reshith. It is the first principle. And you must always begin at the first. And if anyone has listened to me, I will pull one verse. I don't care where I began my teaching. It could be Metiti at 9:2. I will go to that first principle in the first covenants with the nation. I will go to that principle. I will find that Bereshit, Devarim. That's how I find that. And then I will find that principle throughout Torah if it's established. And it is established. This is not what men do. I tell you what the few of you call the leaders and ask them to give you a lesson on what we call the feast days. I don't care who they are. This right here, the black Jews, what they call themselves, Rabbi Shalom Mobi Levi. Levi. No date. I've searched every kind of site there is. And he gives us here, it says here from this site, the Jewish holidays concerning 2010 to 2030. And all of these things can be found. There's nothing that can be found that you need the true answer. I began just like anyone else. In ignorance, I didn't know. I never could on the pattern understand that. And so I was so inquisitive, I began to research every avenue I could. And I found nothing that identifies with the vernal equinox or the solstice. These things are not even found nowhere in the book. Nowhere. Nowhere. The spring equinox of the winter is not found at all, my friends. And that's just the fact of the matter. It's not found. This is what it says concerning the 19-year cycle. Let me page this up some. The 19-year cycle is quite accurate. This is what it says. Assuming 365.24219 days for the tropical year. To do better with a fixed cycle would require a cycle of 182 years. And then 182 divided by 12 equal 2184 months. Contained 2251 months. However, it is not perfect because it's a lie. Everything in this book is perfect. He gave us the season. We saw last night's 16th, but the new moon began on the 15th. We search for the moon here. We have what we call moon nights, and we sing, celebrate that. No, we don't go out there to share the moon, but we do that. And so it was cloudy, you could not see. And there are those that will call us and let us know, I saw it here in Texas or wherever. And then we went out last night, and there it was. The daughters were out there while I was beginning or getting ready to broadcast. And that is October the 15th is the 11th month. Next month will be the 12th. The following month will be the 1st. As you keep the Mo'adim properly, every year they will go back 11 days, 11 days. You're going to keep it through every season over the years. It's going to do that. It doesn't go forward. It's going to go back. Complete circle. And you're going to keep it in the winter, spring, the summer, the fall. And it will be the same thing in the southern hemisphere with our Achim and Chodchim. The assembly is there. There are those that keep it every year in the winter. Every year in the winter. And that's not the moral, the moral that Yah laid out for his nation. It's not. And we just don't. We don't know. Call those or inquire those that you trust. You don't have to listen to me. And see that. This is one thing right here. You see this in the blue lettering concerning the traditionally for the Babylonian and the Hebrew lunar solar calendar. You see those years there? The years 3, 6, 8. See, 2 years between 6, 8, 11, 14, 17, and 19 are what they call the long months. That's the 13th month. So in that 19-year cycle, the third year you got to add, like I just pointed out to us, a 383 year, what they call the leap year. Find that word in Torah because I want to know where it's at. They call that the leap year. The 6th year, the same thing, 384. The 8th year will be 385. And then it goes back to 383, 384, 385, 383. And that's the 19th year, 19-year Metonic, or either Meton. And this is what he developed over 19 years, a period of time, life, searching and studying the heavens, the moon, and all. And this has nothing to do with Yah. Has nothing. Has nothing at all. Period. The added month is called Adar 1, and it is inserted before the month of Adar, term Adar 2 in the leap year. Please, someone, I'm an ignorance man. Help me. Help me. Show me where the word leap is in Torah. Show me where the word leap year is there. That's what I ask and request of anyone. You have scholarship. I'm an ignorance man, but I know what I'm saying. I'm very unlearned, but I know what I'm saying. This all has to deal with this one thing, the 19th year cycle right here. A 19-year cycle may have 6,039 days. It tells us the equation, you divide it by Hanuk 364. That's what it says here. 364, 6,940. You divide that by 364, equals 19. None of it bring you to a 364-day year. But this is the best they could do. The Jewish leap year which occurs 7 times in a 19-year cycle, has 13 months instead of a regular year. Show me 13 months, my precious friend. Pretty. Look again, see if there is a term in the Torah concerning the 13th month. There's only one time that the word 13, really, 1 or 2 times that the word 13 is used in this book. Has nothing to do with months or time. Nothing at all. And this is what has been given to us. And it's a lie. Let's look at this Metonic or the Metonic, this cycle. Let's look at it. Here. It says, the Greek calendar, any of a variety of dating system used by the several city-states in the time classical Greek and differing in the names of their months. So what he simply said that the months may differ or the name of the month and in the times of the beginning of the year. Each of these calendars attempt to combine a single system. For what reason? A single system, the lunar year of 12 cycles of phases of the moon, totaling 354 days. That's all it ever told. Period. And the solar year about 365.25. Generally, 3 extra months were intercalated into every period of 8 solar years. This practice, which was adequate for keeping the calendar roughly in step with the season, the calendar, Yah's calendar, has always been appropriate for the season. Seem to have been enforced as early as the 8th century before the Common Era, each of which contained either 30 or 29 days, began with a new moon. And the Greek calendar that has been most studied, the Athens customarily began its year the first new moon after the summer solstice. Please find that for me. Show me that. Any mention of the word solstice or anything. The system of dating by the Athenians came to be recognized exercised out of Attica as the wider value. But the Hellenistic period, Alexandria, scholarships repeated, especially the Astrosynthesis and Cyrenian, the father of Chronicle, was instrumental in promoting the use of the Olympiad as an accepted system, reckoning 4 years. You see the pagan in all of that. Their gods, the system, and this is what you have done. And this is what those that call themselves leaders, based upon the principle, especially of the lie Jesus Christ, is just a forest, is false, and it's fake. And everything is based upon around those what we call principles. And they're not principles at all. It tells us here, the word here, you see that? Intercalation, inserting of day or month into a calendar to bring it in line with the solar year That's why we have that in this nation with the calendar that we use. Yah's calendar is not based upon the principle of the lunar solar. It is simply a lunar calendar. Period. Period. One example of this periodic inclusion of leap year days, February the 29th. The Gregorian calendar is now generally used, yes, to keep the months of a lunar calendar. Excuse me. It talks about the ancient Greece calendars and all, Athenian calendar and all of this. I'm not going to just read this. It's quite time consuming. And this is just some of the things. Let's look at this, just considering the year that Moshe was born. I do all kinds of research, I do. And let us just begin here. 1571, his death, 1451. It says this in Shemoth here. The beginning of the year change at Pesach as it was instituted. It has not changed. The month, the first day of the month, that is Chodesh, shall be to you the beginning of this month. Beginning of month. It shall be, look at this, the first month of the year. The first month. The first month. This is Moshe's time. It shall be the first month. So I ask the question, has the first month changed from Moshe's time to our time? Is it still the same time or has changed time? Change? It has not, my friends. Same thing here in Exodus 12:18. The first month. Give us precisely the time, the first month. So this is from Moshe here in Exodus. Did it change? Let us examine a few more places. Haran, the first day of the first month, shall be, you set up the tabernacle, the tent of the congregation. The first month has not changed. He identifies it that way. Take your time and examine the Torah for the first month in every place. In every place. I got every place that the first month is mentioned. Every place. Every place throughout this book. I have it. And that is simply factual. First month. 1451 before the Common Era. And even Hanuk. 3400 BCE, Hanuk. He speaks of the luminaries. 72:6. In this manner, it rises in the first month. He's talking about the moon. Through the major gate, it proceeds through the gate, which the fourth. And look what month now. He calls it the first month. So from Hanuk time to Noach time, did it change? It did not change. Let's look at this in Jubilees. Jubilees 5:22. It tells us right here. And Noach made an ark in all respects, as he commanded him, as Yah commanded him. In the 27th Jubilee of years, it tells us in the 5th week, in the 5th year, in the new moon of the first month. So anyone, can you answer that? I need help. Show me any place in Torah where the first month has ever changed or an intercalary. Show me that, please. Show me any place. This is what Noach did. It tells us right here. Jubilees 5:22. I use these books. I know that they are vital to everything. And the same chapter in verse 30. And the new month of the 10th month, and the top of the mountain, on the new month of the first month, the earth became visible. Can we alter that and say there is a leap year when things, according to the Jewish myth, And those in this country, you must understand those that organize this kind of movement. There were those in the piece of land we call Israel. The British and all of them regard this America. And so there were no other major architects when it came to the time. And so you can say what you want to. We all follow the same pattern. Those that came out of the religious construct and those that opened up doors concerning the Hebrew Israelites, they all had their religious concept through Christianity, all of them. I got a history I want to teach on them. I got the history of when the first identity of that form of practice where the men came out of. What kind of religious development? I have it all. I have searched it out to the very letter. And I know what I'm saying. I've spent hundreds and thousands of hours. That doesn't make me great, but I know what I'm saying. I know what I teach. I know what men put out to appease the flesh. You can have 5 wives, you silly man. Can no man take care of no 5 wives? He can say what he wants to. I'm an old man. I have a wife from my youth. And she's an older woman. But there's an energy level to us both. How can a man have 5 wives at 10? That's silly. Well, y'all was a polygynist. That's a twisted lie. They construe all kinds of religious concepts. But things like this, they're not going to teach you. Things like this, they're not going to teach you. They will feed on your flesh and all. Look at this one, Ezra. First Ezra, concerning Darius' decree, when he commanded them to complete the tabernacle. Look what it says in 480 before the common era. And they set the Kohanim in their division and the Levites in their course for the service of Yah, which is at Yerushalayim, as it is written in the book of Moshe. Nothing has changed. In the book of Moshe, you must always go back to the books. The Torah, the one that we call the Torah, the whole book is a enlightenment. It is a Torah of Yah's righteousness. And that's what Yahshua revealed unto us. Look what it says here in 6:19. And the children of the captivity kept the Pesach upon the 14th day of the first month. Somewhere something is wrong when you have to add an extra 13th month. How do you get back to the first month? That's just the truth. They're nothing but lies and corruption. And we, those that we have trusted to teach us, they have not taught us properly. I know I was not taught properly. There was no emotional gyration taught concerning the things of Yah from the person that my initial stage began. The person that began to open up the simple things to me. And he was the one over 40 years, I don't know how long. He told me his name was not Lord God. His name is Yah, his son's name Yahshua. I didn't have the facility, the things to facilitate me back then. You must understand that internet didn't come out until 1985. I had the internet in 1985. Everything was slow, nothing like this, but I would go to the library, Center City, Charlotte. I was not keeping the Shabbat then. I wasn't. When we came here, I began to keep the Shabbat. We moved to this community setting. Then after some time, I began to teach in his name. I just began to teach in the name. And there was nothing on the internet. Really, in the early 90s, there was nothing there. As I said, in those years, there were only, and you did not have the kind of speed like you have now. It was basically dialogue. You didn't have that. In the mid 80s, I had internet and went in chat rooms to talk to people that looked like me, educated people. And you had to have a landline in order to log on. That's how long I've been dealing with this. And then I found it was a great resource where I didn't have to go to the library on a Saturday, spend all day researching all these books, time consuming and quite weary. When I could take a mouse, sit down, and find what I wanted. Like here. We don't have to be ignorant in any regard, but we are very ignorant people. Hallelujah. Is anyone online with me? Give me a text. Send me an email. Hallelujah.
Take the sidebar and scroll down in the text because we got a couple people ask questions.
We got questions here.
This one fella asked you about a calendar.
Okay, where is that?
It's the third one up from the bottom.
Third one up asking about the calendar. Right there.
It's,
What about the calendar? Jediah Melech has and the elders he assembly. Is he the person there in Atlanta? Jediah, he wrote the scriptures. He wrote the Sefer. Is he the one?
I found his calendar, but you got to pay for it. You can't see the date.
His calendar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, you can't find any of the calendars that these men put up. He is the Most High House of Prayer. Is he in Atlanta? That's the one, right? He's in Atlanta. Answer you that asked the question. He's in Atlanta, right? Yes. Shalom, my beautiful friend. That's the same. He's the one in Atlanta. I know that's the one because when he wrote the Sefer, he came to visit me. I was one of the one. He gave me. I have a copy of. I've never used it. He told me about his father and all of that. And okay, you all in the Michigan area. But what I'm saying is that he brought me a copy of the Sefer that he had written. He had translated and all of that. And you know, people that they're quite arrogant. He calls me one day and said, well, I tell you how you can make money up there for the community. We're all right. We're not hungry here. We have lovely homes. We have plenty of wood to stay warm during the winter. And I said to him, he said, why don't you grow trees? I'm like, you're young man. How long do you think if we put trees in the ground right now from meeting you? I met him probably about 15 years ago, 10, 15. I said, it takes a tree minimum, probably 30 years to develop. If there are no diseases to destroy it. I said, so I know what to do. I know how to. And I know exactly what things I must implement. But he gave me a copy. Where is it, the Sefer? But he gave me a copy of that scripture. I've really never opened. I opened it up, but I've never used it. I still use the KJV and other resources. And that led to other things. And it was just because there is no woman that's going to teach me. And they command women to have authority over man. You're not going to do that with me. He gave man, he is the Rush, he's the head. And so no woman is going to teach me. She can't. And so we discuss those matters. Now, the man is the head. He doesn't give that knowledge to a woman. My wife, Ima Rafa, is an exceptional teacher. She just put a video last night. night before last, where she only speaks to the daughters of Zion. Now, if a man want to listen to her, that's just fair. But my wife has been doing this for many, many, many years. And the first time I listened to her was, I believe, a week ago. And I saw her poise and her ability to articulate. She's a very one that can articulate things quite well. And the things that she teach, I give her that. I said, I want you to teach this to the daughters. And you let them know you're speaking to no one but the daughters of Zion. And that's just a fact. The Most High House of Prayer. I love Mother. She's an exceptional teacher. She has learned from me. So she understands the ways of God. She's been with me from day one. We began this walk together, she and I. She's very prudent and wise. She is. But I don't listen to any daughters. I listen to their beauty by the way they instruct the young daughters. It's a sad shame. Let me say this to us all. That the elderly women today don't instruct no one. They have no ability. They don't want to. They instruct no one. By the matter of their lifestyles and conversation. It's sad. Very sad. I simply wanted to come on tonight. I'm wore out, believe me. We spit wood this morning, and I came. It's quite chilly here, and I have my radiator heat on here behind over there behind this bookshelf right here. We have a large boiler where it creates the hot water for our dining hall and bathrooms, and that's what heat my office space here. Just like radiators like they have in New York City and everywhere. And my office is 76 right now. That's warm. But that's how we heat. And I was over this morning, and I tell you, those that, these Achim, that we have a little tree service that we cut trees. And that's bring in finances for the community. And where no one likes. And we're training our young ones today to understand it's a diverse world today. So our young daughters and all of them, we have one to teach them how to design web pages and all of that, the system and all of that. Our young sons, they hunt and all kinds of things like that. We have a very beautiful place. It's a lively community. I love my community lifestyle. There is nothing more beautiful. I'm going to close with this because Yabaruk Lester, I could have listened, and I don't say this boastfully. I'm no one, nothing. I possess nothing in life. When I die, I'm going to die. I have no sons or daughters to grieve me. I have no compunction with that. Nothing but a wife. And but I had a promising career, my wife as well. She was in her internship as a nurse. The hospital said we will pay your college tuition because of your grades. And at that time, my friends, AIDS were blossoming everywhere. And I didn't want my wife touching strange men with AIDS and all of that. I know what I'm saying because I was a very precious brother that he listened to that 15-minute broadcast and he visit our assembly there. And at the end of the service, before the end, he would get up, he would leave before anyone. And one day I stopped him. I said, brother, and he told me his whole lifestyle. He had AIDS. I visit him every Shabbat, every Shabbat, every Shabbat. And he would always say to me, he would say, Uriah, these folks are mad at you, the way you preach. And I recall his mother calling me one day and said, Uriah, he's sick. And he died. He died. I didn't want my wife in that kind of environment. Was or is that a regret? In ways it was. because she delivered the babies here when daughters, she has delivered many of the children. And that skill would have been, we could use every aspect of it. But I was not going to allow her, yes, what I said, allow her to be touching strange men, the genital, and no, that wasn't going to happen there. Mm-mm. And so when y'all moved upon me, we lived, I had that house today, it was mine. My mother, in her will, she had a house that she paid $54,000 for it. It sold for $190,000. Simple little home. And where I live, both of the houses that I had purchased, one were probably worth around 350, 400,000, both of them. And so when y'all moved upon me, I quit my job at IBM. I had a very promising path because it was one man, Dr. Graham, he simply liked me. I didn't tell jokes with him. I don't clown with no man, no daughters. I don't even talk to daughters. That's my honor for them. What do we talk about? If anyone talk, it's me preaching. I don't have any fellowship with any Achim's wife. I don't embrace them. I don't hug them, period. I don't do that. I will not dishonor the man, thinking that I need to conversate with his wife. I'm just being totally honest. I don't do that with any ach because my regard for another man is just, I will not do that. I don't sit around chat with the daughters. My wife does an exceptional job with that. I chat with the men. We get together, we talk. I don't fraternize with any daughter, never have. And we could have traveled that road. I could have had a $500,000 house. But what is that worth? I'm more happy being here these nearly 28 years than being out there. Believe me, I have more than what I need. Simple life, foods and fellowship and healthy. I've been sick over those years. One time that was a sickness, and that was last year. And I know what that was. My wife, because of her nursing knowledge, that was a bacteria. And I recall, I know what happened. I know exactly how that was integrated into my system. I know exactly how. Because of my age, I feel healthy. I feel strong. You watch the knocking out those, I'm telling you, those pieces of wood, that red oak and white oak, and I'm talking about a log, just one cut, 200 plus pounds. Getting that so we can split all that wood, and we did yesterday and today. So I still have viability. I can work. I love working. I like to work hard too. I'm not gonna lie about that. I love working. I love working with our team. And so I could have had all of those things, but what has been worth? Could have been worth nothing. I'd rather live a little simple life. You see how tacky it is behind me. Nothing really organized. I like for my little office to be clean, but it's a small office. I built this out of a wood that someone just gave me. The floors are it's an oak floor, pieces of wood that the achim that were electrician, when they would go to his home, they were throwing it away. They would bring it here. Same thing with my major space. My house is 32 foot long this way, 16 foot wide. That's not much space. Small bedroom, small bath, but I am so content and happy. I have no troubles in this life. I'm not burdened down with anything where most people are. They're trying to live. A man making $1,000 a week, that's not much money. His wife is out working, being tormented. He has a house payment, maybe between 9 and 1,000. That's going to take 2 jacks. His electric bill and all. That's what's going to happen. Electric bill, gas, food, mine. You know the cost of food. I got my son behind me. We're going to butcher a cow soon. We're going to butcher a goat. We're going to butcher a sheep. We can do that. And we know what we feed them. And we know what the meat is. Can you imagine people that look like me? They had the love for each other. You Hebrew Israelites, you don't love each other. You're flat out liars, and you want everyone to believe that you love each other. And you don't love each other. See that brother, he's coming in. I can see everyone that comes in here. You hear that? So you can't sneak in on us, nobody. I'm looking at him. He's probably, did he go hunting? They hunt around here. They hunt. All of the Akim here hunt. And the people that look like me, we could have had wealth. It's amazing. I'm going to close here, but I recall I worked at Goodwill. I would drive a truck. And I was in school at night. This when I got out of the military. And that was a man, his name was Buntia Sahara. He was from Cambodia, Laos. And they would invite me to their home because I was big back then. I was huge, lifting weights every day and all those kinds of things. Fit. And they were, you know, the diminutive people, the size, the men. And when I would go, they would be in awe, just looking at me. And and I saw those people that if one was buying a house, everybody helped buy the house for that one. And when someone else needed a house, that's what they did. And they would go to farmers and buy cows and chickens, and they would give them many things because they would buy that even back then. He had 2 beautiful little daughters, and they loved me in their concept of love. One became a dentist. I don't recall what the other one, but they would buy, and he was somewhat of a leader. His name was Buntia Sahara. And when they bought everyone, they would share it with everyone, a communal concept. People that look like me, I say it like this. We don't give a damn. We think everyone is rotten as you are. We don't know how to care for each other. We just don't. We don't know how to love each other. And above all that, we don't want to be around each other, period. Just a fact of the matter. I'm not going anywhere. Listen, my friends, I'm going to stop. I got to teach tomorrow. I have a profound teaching on Keith. I want you to join me, all right? I'm going to close here tonight. So, Yabaruk, be encouraged. May Yah strengthen you all that we press on in the way of Yah. Yabaruk, Shalom, nation, shalom.